Welcome to the debut episode of Beyond the Boundary, powered by Crickbuster.
Guys, welcome. This is our first ever podcast recorded. So we've gone with a name. Now, we're going to start off with the name first because that's the most important thing in the podcast. That's how you recognize us. Now, we've gone with a name that we've tried to incorporate cricket into it, but also, as you can see, my co-host alongside me, Nafeesa, she's from India, of course, and she's come up with the name. I love it. Nafeesa, I'm going to let you introduce the name. Tell us all about it.
So the name I've come up with and Jake agreed upon is Beyond the Boundary. So I think it's a name that connects with cricket well, and as well as both of us, because we are from different parts of the world, two countries where cricket is like celebrated and loved by everyone. And yeah, that's it. That's the name, Beyond the Boundary.
So welcome. This is our first episode for Beyond the Boundaries. You guys have requested a podcast from myself on my YouTube channel, Jeakings Vlogs. Thank you if you watch the videos. But you've requested a podcast for a long, long time, and I've finally done it. And I found an awesome co-host in Nafeesa. Now, as you guys know, you probably know a little bit about me, but we're going to do some introductions because that's just the normal thing. First episode on a podcast, we're gonna introduce ourselves. So, yeah, guys, as you know, I'm Jeakings from Australia. I love cricket. Absolutely love cricket, as you guys probably are aware. Let's be honest there. I'm probably look a little bit like Sam Curran, but I've started growing a little bit of a beard. I don't know what you think of that. I know it's not cricket related, but I have started growing a little bit of a beard. But yeah, look like Sam Curran. I get mistaken for him on a daily basis, literally even in Perth now as well, which Sam Curran, you're known worldwide. I love spending time with my friends, family, but more importantly, I love traveling the world and incorporating cricket into that. So hence why, I started the YouTube, started my Instagram journey as well, and now starting my podcast. So that's a little bit about me. Nafeesa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Me, I don't think there's much. It's just the love for cricket that's brought me and Jake together. We met during the IPL last year and in Bangalore, and cricket is what brought us together once, and it's bringing us together again. So yeah, I'm Nafeesa Shiza. My Instagram handle is Shiza Talks Cricket, and you might have seen me somewhere.
Yes, I do remember that interview where we were out the front on Bangalore's Commercial Street, and you specifically asked about MS Dhoni because I'd just come from Mumbai where he scored those 3 sixes in the last over, which was just magical. My ears are still ringing from that Mumbai crowd celebrating it. But yeah, nonetheless, we have a lot on the cricket agenda. Let's be honest there. Now, the cricket agenda is full. So Australia versus Pakistan at the moment in the ODI series. Recently, India versus New Zealand. Going over to South Africa for the first T20 since the T20 World Cup final. So India fans, you're probably enjoying that one. But the main talking point, Nafeesa, is the BGT series. So I'm going to let you start with that. The BGT series, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, how interesting it is that we, on our first episode of our podcast, we're going to talk about India versus Australia. Australia versus India, of course.
They're home side, don't worry.
Yeah, so somebody from Australia and me from India, we're talking about Australia versus India in our first podcast. That's like really on point, special, I guess. So the rivalry, I think it's grown like leaps and bounds now because of the 2023 WTC final and the World Cup finals that happened between India and Australia. Both were disappointing for India, sadly, but
good for Australia.
Yeah, it's good for you. You watched it live. I can't imagine how it felt, and so it was disappointing for India, but it was really great, and that's what I think has moved the rivalry ahead in the last 1 year or two, I guess. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we'll see. For me, I mean, because Australia has the rivalry of England, but a lot of people, like even Australia fans, even Australia cricket pundits, like I think Ricky Ponting came out recently and said that the Australia versus India rivalry is maybe even bigger than the Ashes rivalry, which I don't agree with. I personally believe nothing will top the Australia versus England rivalry. But I mean, the rivalry is getting stronger, like you said, with recent performances like the World Cup final in 2023, which was a magical day. We'll need another podcast just for that, so I can ramble for 40 minutes on my experiences during that World Cup because that was just magical. And then, like you said, the World Test Championship final as well. But then, like also the last few BGT series, like the last one in Australia where India, pulled off absolutely remarkable. Like Cheslaw Pujara, seriously, that guy, he still gives me nightmares. I love him as a good player. He's probably one of the last Test batsmen of his style. Like, Cheslaw Pujara gets me excited. But, and like Rishabh Pant's back in the Test side, which is it's great for cricket. And especially like Rishabh Pant babysitting Tim Payne's kids, there's a good strip on it. I'm bringing out the sledges, but like, I'm extremely excited. The rivalry is probably stronger than ever. I know India, let's be honest, they haven't been in the best of form. Like, I'm not trying to cause a little bit of tension in the first podcast, but, let's be honest, India were very disappointing against New Zealand, and congratulations to New Zealand 3-0 in India. I could only dream as an Australia fan, but also, being able to watch your country, whoever was there from New Zealand, watch your country win 3-0 against India in India. I don't think that's arguably one of New Zealand's greatest triumphs in sporting history. Like that's saying something because beating India in India is it's so hard to do and doesn't happen often. But look, I know it is a sore subject. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, we need to touch on those two players at the moment. Their form, like, yeah, I've got no words for it. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they're absolutely amazing players and once in a generational, but they aren't in the best form at the moment, are they?
Yeah, that's an issue that I think India needs to look at. But when India has Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, it's always a confidence that these two key players, these two stars of the game are upfront everywhere. So their form has been concerning for India. Like Rohit Sharma rightly said that he wasn't good with the bat, and of course with the captaincy as well. That's what he said after the series loss. I think they have understood what's happened with them. They know what's gone wrong, and I think they need to bring it up. The captain and the coach, they need to discuss what they're going to do next and just come up with a good plan.
I mean, yeah, it is interesting. Like, Gautam Gambhir hasn't had a very successful start to his India career, let's be honest. Like, replacing Rahul Dravid as the coach, like, yeah, it's, I don't know, it hasn't been a very successful start. But, like, honestly, Rohit Sharma has come in these last, they versed Bangladesh, New Zealand, and I think he's averaging somewhere, like, in those last, like, two test series, those two tests against them, I think he's averaging something like 13.30, and I think I saw some insane stat for both him and Virat Kohli where they both scored 150 in their last 10 innings, which like for them it is like absolutely insane. I think Virat's averaging a little bit better than Rohit. I think he's averaging like 21.3 or something. Don't quote me, I could be wrong, but I think I'm correct. I'm not usually wrong. No. But I mean that is very concerning. Like for those two players to be averaging that little, it's concerning. Like, but also at the same token, you say going and coming out with another plan. I think Virat Kohli like thrives. Like the Indian crowd's going to be very, very tough in like Western Australia as well. Like there's a lot of them. There's a lot of India fans that will be out there supporting. So it's not going to be like it's a hostile away venue for India. It's going to be like it's like their second home. And I think if they were to recapture form, it would be in Australia because Virat Kohli, we know he loves the MCG. He loves playing at Adelaide Oval. So I mean, yeah, as an India fan, would you be worried? Like I don't think it's too worrying considering you are going up against Australia, but there's so much pressure for India on this BGT series.
Yeah, there definitely is pressure coming after that home series loss. What New Zealand has achieved is historic for New Zealand cricket. Win Test series win in India after 36 years, and for New Zealand became the first team to whitewash India at home in the last 24 years. I mean, how big is that? And as far as India is concerned, India lost a test series at home after 12 long years. That is a streak that definitely we wanted to keep for a longer time, but unfortunately we couldn't. But I think there's nothing in blaming a single person or talking about Virat's performance at this time. We've seen him go down and come up in the past, and always India believes in Virat Kohli, and he loves to play in Australia, so we believe that he's going to come back.
Yeah, that, like you said, you can't rely on those two players. You know, Yashvi Drysdale could have scored a century. Rishabh Pant could have gone and scored a century one of those games. You know, Kuldeep Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja, everyone could have. So it's not just, you know, those one players, but India's side selected for the BGT series. That to me, that interests me a lot, because there's a few different, you know, players which have been included in that side, which haven't before. And then there's a few notable names which aren't included. Like, I'm going to let you run us through that. The Indian side for the BGT series, what's your thoughts on that one? Because that's an interesting subject, let's be honest.
Yeah, so we definitely, the big news is we don't have Mohammad Shami in the squad, and we don't have Kuldeep Yadav as well. So that's the main thing. Who we don't have. We don't have Mohammad Shami. Definitely, we're gonna miss Mohammad Shami in Australia. But the things that have been discussed everywhere is the three new names that have come up in the 18-member squad that India has announced for the BGT series. First of all, Abhimanyu Ishwaran, the reserve opener. He's like, definitely he's deserving his first. He has this good first class stat. Like, if you look at his stats in first class, it's like outstanding. You will be wondering why he hasn't made his debut for India yet. He has scored what, some 7,600 plus runs in first class. And he averages nearly 50 in first class. So it's like he's rightly deserving, and he has a good experience of over a decade now, I guess. So yeah, that one, he's a reserve opener. And yeah, the other names that has come up are Nitish Kumar Reddy.
Sunrise's boy. My IPL team. Sunrise's rep, right? Sunrise's rep. Let's go, Nitish.
You've watched him closely, I guess.
He's one of my favourite players. Nitish Kumar Reddy, my boy. He's ready. He's ready to alight Australia up in flames. Up the Sunrisers, up Nitish Kumar Reddy. All right, I'll let you continue. I'm getting excited.
Yeah, so the two new all-rounders that we have are Nitish Kumar Reddy and Nitish Rana. Nitish Rana from Kolkata Knight Riders. You might have noticed him there.
Yep.
Who did not notice him in the last IPL season?
That's right. Who didn't? You know, in Kolkata, deserving IPL champions. You know, led by the one and only Mitchy Stark. I was there for that final with Chennai. It was interesting because Sunrisers just didn't turn up. You know, Travis Head. I love Travis Head. You know that King Travis, I like to call him. But that IPL, he just the final series just didn't turn up. I think he got a duck the first game as well against Kolkata. Mitchy Stark got him, and then he didn't open. I could have sworn he didn't open against Kolkata in the final. I thought he came in the third. I'm probably wrong about this, but he didn't. I don't think he got into double digits in that final series. We got to search that one up. But look, you know, my takes on India's squad is Sarfaraz. I'm going to butcher his name, but Sarfaraz Khan. Did I pronounce that correct?
Yeah, Sarfaraz Khan. Right, you're right.
Sarfaraz Khan. So my takes on that is, I loved his innings in Bangalore where he scored his maiden century. Was it his maiden century? Yep, his maiden century. All right, I'm good with my facts on that. So he scored his maiden century, and that was just an unreal innings. But more importantly, his family is just his dad watching on in the stands, and I saw a photo where his dad had tears, watching his son in the stands, scoring his maiden century. And for me, that just was just absolutely unreal. And I'm really, really, I hope he gets selected in the 11-man squad for the first test in Perth where I can watch him live, because Sarfaraz Khan is quickly turning into one of my, I think he's 27 years old. And I think he held, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he held like an absolutely insane record where in high school he scored like 400 plus runs or something I don't know. There was an insane. I did little research on Sarfaraz, and he had an insane what's called an insane record where he scored 430 plus. I think it was 439. I could be wrong with that, but that was just absolutely insane. Now, he's someone I'm really excited to watch. And well, look, Australia's openers is also another topic of point, because Australia's openers, it's we're almost 22nd of November. We're almost less than 2 weeks, and we've still got no idea on who Australia's openers should be.
Yeah. So we have.
I think Australia's openers. I know it's a strong subject. All right, just relax. I know you're getting excited about this because you wanted to talk about Australia's openers. Now, your thoughts?
Well, I would just call David Warner back because he's offered to come back. So I would just call him back and just come back.
Just tell David to come back, and hopefully he comes back.
I think, yeah, hopefully he'll come back. But I think they've got a few good names that are rightly deserving. I think alongside Usman Khawaja, McSweeney is what everybody is talking about right now, because he's captaining Australia A right now. And he has some experience. He has the leadership experience, and he's he looks ready, but usually he fills in the number 3 position. But
yeah, he is usually number 3.
Match that's going on right now, he's doing number 1, he's going in as an opener. So they might just be trying out how that'll work. And yeah, that's what he's doing. Then we have some other names you might know. We have
Sam Constance, the young fella. I mean, I don't think he's, in my opinion, now, because there's quite a lot with this, because you've got McSweeney, but then you've also got Marcus Harris in so I think it's a 2-horse race between McSweeney and Harris. I think it's going to be one of those two. My gut leans to Marcus Harris purely because he's had prior experience. Sam Constance, no. I as much as I really, really want to see him play, just no, because he's not ready. If he gets out and doesn't score a good score, his confidence is just going to go downhill. Like we saw for New South Wales, he went back-to-back centuries. Unreal. In the future, yes, Constance, get him in the squad. Get him in the squad 100%, but not now. Now's not the right time. You saw him against India A. He's struggling big time. Now, I think he's going to be a really a confidence player. Now, if he's not performing well, he's going to be in some really bad slumps. But if he's performing well, he's going to be absolutely unstoppable. And he's 19, so he's younger than me. So, and that's saying something. He's playing for Australia, eh? So I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but yeah, he's 19, so he's extremely young still. But I do like the name Sam Constance. That is a really good point, but not now. Not now. I think it's going to be Marcus Harris, honestly, opening for Australia. That's my gut. It's going to be really interesting. I wish Australia would hurry up and announce their BGT team. But yeah, I do think it's going to be Marcus Harris. But you think Marcus Harris?
Yeah, I think, I also have this feeling because the Australia A versus India A game that's going on right now, the second test, what happened is McSweeney opened alongside Marcus Harris, and I think Harris has scored 74 runs while the Australians were no good going. So he's been he's showed his worth for now, but I'm not really sure because I haven't watched him that close in the past. So that's
I can confidently say it'll be a 2-horse race. McSweeney, Harris, and I think Harris will just get over by a nose. Mick Sweeney right online. It's going to be a photo finish. So I'm doing horse racing terminology right here. But I think it's going to be a 2-horse race, and I think Harris is just going to get over the line. I think it's going to be close. Bancroft, I'd love to see Bangers back in the team, but unfortunately, I can't see him playing for Australia again, to be honest, which is sad because, look, Australia, he's had a really good few Sheffield Shield performances recently. Well, not recently, but like previous seasons, like last Sheffield, he's one of the leading run scorers, and it fascinates me how he doesn't get selected, to be honest. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I'm not going to go into the politics and stuff associated between Cameron Bank. Well, we all know he was part of that infamous ball tampering saga. So it might be the after effects of that. I don't know. David Warner did point out a few criticisms during the recent ODI series against Pakistan, the first test. He pointed out a few of his back foot where he probably can't face the likes of Jasper Bumrah, and he reckons he's going to get out to him. I don't know. I'm not going to get involved in that. But, there's been a few criticisms of Cameron Bancroft. But ultimately, I think Marcus Harris will get the nod. Now, the next one, really, really interesting topic is because of this BGT series, it's going to have dire implications on India's World Test Championship status, whether they play in the final or not. Because a few weeks ago, it looked all but certain India were going to play. But after that 3-0 loss at home to New Zealand, it's put a spanner in the works, let's be honest there, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is the WTC final. If India are going to qualify this time, it's going to be India's third consecutive WTC finals. And I think it's at stake right now after that 3-0 loss at home against New Zealand. And the scenario right now is a little bit tensing, I would say. It's like India need to win 4 and have a draw if they need to independently reserve a spot in the WTC final, which is, of course, they just have 5 test matches at Australia. The BGT series, of course, that's that's the highlight of our talk, of course. And yeah, that's what they have got, the 5 test matches at Australia. They need to win 4 out of 5 and need a draw to definitely get that spot. I know it's difficult, but I do believe in India. So maybe we can do that, but I'm not sure.
Well, I hope for your sake. Well, actually, I'm not going to say I hope for your sake they do, because then that probably be at Australia's expense. But Australia, look, I'm not going to say certain, because cricket's a funny game. I think they've got 7 tests left, so 5 obviously against India, 2 against Sri Lanka, and I think Australia only need to win 4 to guarantee a spot in the WTC final, which ultimately, let's be honest, they should. Realistically, they should be able to beat India twice. I'm not even trying to sound arrogant right now. So, guys, if you're getting up to this point and you're watching I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but let's be honest, Australia should win 2 against India. And then, but I mean, Sri Lanka are dark horses here. Let's be honest. I don't think 2 months ago any of us would have expected for them to be in the WTC qualification scenario, let alone being in a spot, vying a spot in the finals. And then you've got South Africa breathing down their necks, New Zealand. So what turned out to be just Australia and India competing for spots, it's turned out to be 5 teams now competing for 2 spots in the final. How different is it now in comparison to 2 months ago? It's actually unreal. It shocks me. Does it shock you? Surely it does.
It has become a little tight. We're getting to the end of it all, but it's become too tight that we're not really sure who's going to end up in those first 2 spots. India were on top this whole time, and just a 3-match loss at home against New Zealand has lashed out back so hard for India that they are looking at not playing a WTC final after playing 2 consecutive WTC finals in the past. It's going to be difficult, but Australia, I think they need 5 wins from the remaining 7. They at least have 7 matches, 5 at home and 2 away, but they can come around somehow, I guess. I wouldn't say much like I know how good we all know how good Australia is, and I think they can come around somehow. But what India have is just like 5 matches in which they need 4 wins.
So it's near not impossible, but it's going to be very, very tough. Let's be honest there. I think I
Yeah,
saw some percentage standards. It was like Australia at the moment are 80%. Well, have an 80% chance of qualifying for the final, and then India have like 18. It's gone down to like 18% based on their form leading into the BGT series. So that's going to be interesting. And then Sri Lanka have what four tests left, and they need realistically, if they win all four, they should make it. If they win three and lose one, then they're relying on other results. And then, well, if South Africa, they versus Bangladesh and they versus someone else, I can't remember, but if they win all four tests, they make it to the finals. And same with New Zealand. I think New Zealand have got the 3-match test against England, and if they win all three, then it taken to something like I think it's like 64.29 as a percentage. And then, if they lose one, obviously, then they're relying on other results. So it's going to be a very interesting end. I think a lot of teams will be tuning into Australia versus Sri Lanka very, very interestingly, because let's be honest, if Australia beat Sri Lanka, then that might result in another team getting into the final. And then if Sri Lanka beat Australia, that might result in another team being in the final. So we're lucky enough to be into this series. Let's be honest, ending this this cycle with it's probably the closest in last year was a lot closer than last year. So we're lucky on that. Let's get to the playing exercise for Australia versus India. Now I don't know how many minutes we've gone on this podcast, but it feels like we're doing this for the last hour. But I'll let you start. India's XI. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
so I think for me, what I've picked is something that everybody is looking at right now. It's just what is expected of India right now, because we have few new names, but we are not expecting them to dive in right away. They're just there in case maybe
Reserves.
So they're like we have some inexperienced people, but we do have experience in Australia. Like Virat Kohli has he knows Australia well, and he had some good time in Australia. We have Rishabh Pant who loves playing in Australia, to be honest, and then of course Jasprit Bumrah. Who can forget Jasprit Bumrah? He's what India, the whole of India have their hopes right now in Jasprit Bumrah's shoulder, which is like little too much, but I think everybody is behind Jasprit Bumrah right now. But I think Yashasvi Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma as the openers. And what do you think? Right? And Rohit Sharma
those two will be the openers. Yeah, that's nailed on, guaranteed. India's squad's going to be very difficult to pick, to be honest. I don't know. I know I can comfortably say I've got Australia's XI sorted, but I'll leave that to a little bit later. But India's XI, you've got Rohit Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal. Who's in at number 3? You're gonna.
Saying that Rohit Sharma might miss the first test. So in case he misses the first test, you haven't heard about it?
No, I haven't. I'm a bit behind in my news. So that's a good result for Australia. Then far out.
Don't be so happy. He's gonna come back if he's not there for the first. He's definitely gonna come back for the second. But if in case he misses the first test, we have Abhimanyu Ishwaran, who's the reserve opener. He rightly deserves the spot, and let's see what he can do maybe. And then he's in some good form in his past few matches, and I think India would expect him to continue what he's been doing in the past few matches. So after that, we have Virat Kohli, of course. And number 3, yeah, we have Virat Kohli. And then number 4, I think KL Rahul is going to come in. And then we have our wicketkeeper, Rishabh Pant, who loves playing in Australia. Who can forget? Who can forget Gabba?
Yeah, I know. I got reminded of that at the World Cup final when Australia just won it, and people are saying, "Oh, you remember Gabba?" And I go, "Mate, I don't remember. I couldn't care less about the Gabba right now after we've just beaten India in the finals. So yeah, I do remember Gabba, but I also remember November in Ahmedabad stadiums. But continue. We won't get into that. Continue.
18 times about it. It's it's something that we're gonna try to forget forever.
Look, as long as I'm alive, I won't ever let anyone forget about it. Every year I'll be posting happy 2 years anniversary, happy 50th anniversary since we beat India in the 2023 World Cup. So, look, yeah, as long as I'm alive, people won't forget about it. Don't you worry. I'll go in 5 years. I reckon we'll put some money on it. See what I'm doing in 5 years. What will I be? I'll be like 25, 26. In 5 years, I guarantee you, I'll do a street interview and I'll be like, Travis Head will be long retired, I reckon. Actually, he's probably still be playing. But I'll be like, do you remember that guy named Travis Head who I think it was 2023 and didn't he score a century against India in the World Cup final? I'm gonna be like that, in 5 years. So yeah, don't worry. You try to forget, but then I'll keep bringing it up. All right. So I'm going on a tangent here.
I have Jake to remind me every time that India, about the 19th November drama that every Indian cricket fan carries deep inside their heart. So, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's just
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, we've got Rishabh Pant. Who's next?
And then, of course, Ravindra Jadeja. We have Washington Sundar, but I would go with Ravichandran Ashwin, considering his experience and everything. So we have.
I'm in agreement with that.
So, we kept him outside for the WTC finals against Australia, which was upsetting for everyone. We were just like, why did we keep Ashwin out? It was so sad to watch.
It was a very interesting decision. Let's be honest, there.
It was, and we were really upset. We were like, Ashwin sitting there, he cannot do anything, and like what is happening in the ground is like unbelievable. How did we just lose it in the last moment? It was upsetting. Again, not talking about it. Let's move on.
Didn't Travis Head score a century there as well?
No, I'm not talking about it, Jake. I'm not talking about it. Let's move on. Okay, Ravi Jadeja, Ravi Ashwin, and then we have our pace attack, Akashdeep, Jasprit Bumrah, and Mohammad Siraj. This is what I think is going to be India's playing 11 leg. It looks pretty strong, and then we have the rest of the team who's going to come in if required. Like Washington Sundar can come in if Jadeja or Ashwin is unavailable or for whatever reason. He can come in, and then if the new faces, if Nitish Kumar Reddy is going to come in, he'll be another seam option and things like that. So we have all-rounders. We have good all-rounders in the squad. But ultimately, it's up to them.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement to that. I do hope Nitish Kumar Reddy gets his chance. I really hope that. Khalil Ahmed, as well, is also in the reserves. What is it? He was Delhi Capitals bowler reserve. He played a few games for Delhi actually, so I think he might get a shot. He's in India A squad at the moment, but he might get a chance as well. So and Washington Sooner, Sarfaraz Khan. So I think India definitely doesn't lack depth. That's one thing. They have a lot of depth. It's whether those players perform. Now, I'm going to head to my boys, the Aussies. Now, obviously, we debated about the Australian openers. Now, you said we collectively agreed on Marcus Harris. So we got Marcus Harris, Usman Khawaja, and then Marnus Labuschagne, and then Stephen Smith, my boy Trav Head. You can't go wrong with that. And then ultimately, Cameron Green is out. So I think if we're going for like replacement, you'd probably bring in Mitch Marsh. We probably could have had a debate on that, but the same token, I do think Mitch Marsh gets the nod, so I'm going to go with him. And I'm going to comfortably, especially the first test being in his hometown of Western Australia, I'm going to go with Mitchy Marsh. So what's that? Mitchy Marsh down at, so we've got Marcus Harris, Usman, Marnus, Stephen Smith, Travis Head, Mitchy Marsh, number 6, and then number 7, my God, Pat Cummins. Can't go wrong with him. Number 7, Pat Cummins. And then Mitchy, we've got the keeper. Oh my God. Sorry. We've got Alex Carey. Australia's going to change everything up and go in without a keeper now. Oh, nice. We're just going to get someone from the crowd. Yeah, so we've got Alex Carey. I can't forget about Kez. Far out. Especially his recent ODI performances against England. Wow, he saved Australia in a few games. But yeah, sorry, Alex Carey. We got Alex Carey, Cummins, King. My God, I'm sorry. You know why I forgot Alex Carey? Because I saw Cummins. I was thinking of Cummins' name, and I get excited, extremely excited about Paddy Cummins. Like, do you get excited about Pat Cummins? That's what I want to know.
Me, I am. I want to see what's gonna happen this time around. Like they're gonna bring, they'll eventually have to go for some opener. So like I want to see how they come around with that team and how Pat Cummins is gonna execute everything as a captain. And yeah,
trust in Pat. Trust in Pat. That's all I'm gonna say. Trust in Pat. If Pat's got a plan, it's a plan. Okay, don't worry.
We all know how much Jake loves Pat Cummins, guys. We all know this. Yeah.
Pat Cummins is, oh my God. We're going to do another podcast of me just admiring Pat Cummins for 30 minutes, please.
Just Pat Cummins.
All right, so moving on. Pat Cummins, and then obviously pace attack. Well, he's part of the pace attack. But then we're going to go with Mitchy Stark, Josh Hazelwood, and finish it off with Spin King in Nathan Lyon. But then with spinners wise, Todd Murphy, he can come in, Mitch Swepson, and then maybe even Sean Abbott comes in for pace. Australia's got Scotty Boland. I guarantee you, what is it? I think it's the 4th test in Melbourne. The 4th test in Melbourne, Scott Boland will be named at the MCG. Okay? Scott Boland will be named at the MCG. Mark my words. All right? Mark my words. Scott Boland will be named at the MCG. Okay? I'm just going to say that. Scott Boland will be named at the MCG. I don't know how many times I said it now. If I'm a betting man, I'm betting on it. Scott, I'll change something now because I'm just going to keep rambling the same thing. But, all right, we're going to end this. We've gone on for a while now. Feels like we've spoken for ages. I think people are going to be sick and tired of hearing our voices. Predictions. You're the away team. Usually the away team tosses. The home team tosses the coin. You choose heads or tails. So away team, Australia, India, predictions. You go first.
Okay, so of course I'm gonna go India 4-1. I think, yeah.
I shouldn't laugh.
No, yeah, you shouldn't. Like, I believe in India. We all believe in India. Let's see what's gonna happen. So we definitely need 4 wins. Like India can qualify even if they don't get those 4 wins, considering the other results go their way. But it's important to make sure that we have our ways clear. So it's like 4-1, but I would
is that your biased thoughts? Is that your biased thoughts, or using your head?
I would say a little somewhere, but I think it can also go 3-2, maybe India 3-2.
Okay, I'm seeing a trend. Do you want India to win? All right. All right, India 4-1.
Of course.
I respect it. I think it's going to be a lot closer than the experts are predicting. I think, like Ricky Ponting came out and said, India will maybe win a game somewhere along the line. I think he's correct in that comment. So I'm gonna go with Australia. I'm gonna start off. You said India 4-1. I reckon it's gonna be. I actually think it's gonna be Australia 4-1. I think we're gonna win the Perth Test. I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna win the Gabba at the Gabba. We're gonna win Melbourne. We're gonna win Sydney, and then India, I think, is going to win the Adelaide Test. But the same token, Australia weather is unpredictable at this time of year. Like some days it might be 40 plus, and then you might get rain the next. But I know up in Brisbane, you won't probably get rain. Let's be honest, it's going to be 40 plus there, especially in the summer. Probably even Sydney and Melbourne at this point. So I do, though, think it's going to be a washout in one of the games. I can see that happening. So potentially maybe Australia 4-0, Australia 4-1. But then at the same token, I can see India winning 3-2 somewhere along the line. They might pull a performance out of nowhere and just shock everyone in their cricketing community. So it's an option as well. But on my predictions, we'll go Australia 4-1. There we go.
Okay, you cannot underestimate India. That's what everyone says. And I think Sunny Gavaskar was talking about India, Australia, and he was like, "There's no way India's gonna win 4 test match in Australia at this point."
They'll be lucky to win 1, let alone 4.
But we believe it. I know what I'll just voice out what the whole of India is talking about right now. Jasprit Bumrah. Let's have our faith.
He's probably India's sole hope in winning. Let's be honest there.
Yeah. Let's hope for the best, I guess. Let's hope for another India-Australia WTC final, maybe.
Yeah, let's hope, and then we'll have the same result where Australia wins again. All right, let's end this. This has been our. Oh, has the sledging already begun between Australia and India? And this is over Zoom call. Gee, imagine what it's going to be like during the games. All right, let's end this podcast now. This is our first podcast. Nafeesa, it has been absolutely wonderful. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And, this is our first ever podcast. So if there's any tips, any content you want us to cover, let us know and we'll just have a chat about it. We're obviously going to just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. You can't expect everything in the first podcast to be perfect, let's be honest there, but we're giving it a shot. We've listened and I've got a wonderful co-host in Nafeesa. So yeah, this has been Beyond the Boundaries. It feels weird saying that. This has been Beyond the Boundaries by Crickbuster, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Nafeesa, any closing comments?
It's overwhelming for talking about the first podcast that we've done, but it's been really good alongside Jake. What has brought us together is cricket, I would say once again, and talking about it. It's amazing from different parts of the world. It's really amazing, and yeah, if there's any suggestion, we would take in and let's grow together.
Exactly, let's grow together. This is Beyond the Boundaries, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.